The rain had been falling for hours, turning the train station platform into a blur of reflections and hurried footsteps. People rushed past without looking up, umbrellas colliding, briefcases splashing through puddles. But in the middle of that cold, restless chaos stood a little girl with a torn pink backpack and shoes so worn you could see the outline of her toes. 8-year-old Mia clutched a wrinkled $5 bill tightly in her tiny hand, the last money she and her mom had until payday. Her stomach was empty. Her clothes were damp. Her mom was late again from her shift at the diner. Yet Mia kept whispering to herself, "We'll be okay, we always are." Just then, she noticed a woman, maybe in her late 40s, sitting alone on a bench at the far end of the platform. The woman's coat was soaked, her hair clung to her cheeks, and her suitcase looked expensive but strangely out of place, as if it had been dragged through miles of trouble. The woman had her face buried in her hands, shoulders trembling silently. Mia's heart tugged. While the world around her kept moving, she stopped. The moment that changed everything. Mia approached slowly. "Ma'am, are you okay?" she asked in the softest voice. The woman looked up, startled. Her eyes were red, tired, and full of something Mia recognized instantly: loneliness. I lost my wallet," the woman whispered. "I can't even buy a ticket home." Mia, without thinking twice, opened her damp fist. I have $5, she said, pushing the bill toward the woman. "It's not much, but maybe it helps." The woman stared at her. "You're just a child, why would you give this to me?" "Because you look like you need it more." There was no dramatic music, no applause, just the quiet, trembling moment where a child with nothing chose to give everything she had. The woman gently took the money, but her hands shook as if she were holding a priceless diamond. "Thank you," she whispered. "You don't know what this means." Mia smiled, a small, brave smile that glowed through the rain. The little girl's struggles. Mia's mother, Laura, had been working double shifts ever since she was laid off from her old job. Their rent was overdue, the electricity bill was piling up, and Mia's school had just sent a warning about unpaid fees. Every day felt like climbing a mountain with no end in sight. Yet Mia never complained. She believed kindness made people rich in ways money couldn't. But life didn't care about kindness. Life was getting harder. When Laura finally arrived to pick her up that night, she was soaked and exhausted. "Mia, where's your money? We needed that for dinner." I gave it to a lady who needed it," Mia said softly. Laura sighed, frustrated but unable to be angry. How could she blame her child for having a heart bigger than the world? They walked home in silence, the hunger deeper than the cold. The stranger returns. The next morning, their doorbell rang. Laura frowned. They rarely had visitors. When she opened the door, she froze. Standing there, dry, elegant, composed, was the woman from the train station. Except now she looked entirely different: polished shoes, flawless coat, hair neatly tied. And behind her stood two men in suits. "Hello," the woman said gently. "Is Mia home?" Laura hesitated, confused. "May I ask, why?" Mia peeked from behind the door, gasping. "It's you." The woman knelt down. "I never got to tell you my name yesterday. I'm Eva Hawthorne." Laura's knees nearly buckled. Eva Hawthorne. The real estate investor. The woman who owned half the city's new developments. A millionaire many times over. But before Laura could speak, Eva continued. "Yesterday, I had an emotional breakdown. I had just gotten news about a lawsuit, a betrayal, and I ran. I ran to that station without thinking. What your daughter did," she looked at Mia, eyes softening. "No one has given me kindness in years. I wanted to repay her properly. The miracle they never expected." Eva stepped aside, revealing a large envelope in her hand. "This is for you and your mom." Inside were paid bills, 6 months of rent, a check, and a letter of approval for Mia's scholarship to one of the best private schools in the city. Laura covered her mouth, tears spilling. I don't understand." "Why us?" "Because your daughter reminded me that I still have a heart," Eva said. "And because giving from nothing is the greatest kind of giving." Then she turned to Mia. "You didn't know who I was." You didn't want anything in return. You just saw someone hurting and helped. Mia hugged her without hesitation. And for the first time in a very long time, Eva cried tears of joy. The challenges that followed. Kindness didn't magically solve everything. Laura still worked long hours. Mia still struggled to adjust to a new school where kids came in luxury cars. Eva battled her legal issues and scandals that threatened her company. There were arguments, misunderstandings, and breakdowns. Mia felt out of place. Laura felt guilty for accepting help. Eva felt unworthy of the little girl's trust. But through every challenge, they kept coming back to one truth. They were no longer alone. They were a strange, beautiful family built on one $5 act of kindness. The resolution, a new beginning. Months later, the three stood at the grand opening of a new community program Eva created. Mia's Hands of Hope. A charity supporting single parents and children in need. Reporters surrounded them, cameras flashing, but Eva leaned down and whispered to Mia. You changed my life, and now we'll change others. Mia beamed, holding her mother's hand tightly. And in that moment, under the bright lights and smiling faces, she realized something. Being rich had nothing to do with money. It had everything to do with heart. The message. In a world that rushes past suffering. A little girl stopped, and changed the course of 3 lives forever. Because sometimes, the smallest act of kindness is the biggest miracle. The months after Mia's act of kindness passed quickly, but for her, life had changed in ways she still struggled to understand. The world around her had grown brighter, yet she felt a strange heaviness too, as if stepping into a new life meant leaving a piece of her old one behind. She missed the familiar sound of the old heater rattling in their small apartment. She missed her mom walking her to school every morning. Most of all, she missed feeling normal. Mia's new school was beautiful, marble floors, tall windows, a playground that looked like a mini theme park, but it felt like walking through a maze of whispers and stares. The kids there had never known hunger, or worry, or the feeling of counting coins at night. They came with expensive bags, chauffeured cars, and polished shoes. Mia came with her second-hand backpack and the memory of giving her last $5 away. Sometimes that memory made her smile. Sometimes it made her feel small. But every afternoon, Eva arrived to pick her up. And every time Mia saw her, she felt a little less alone. The invitation that changed everything. One Friday afternoon, Eva walked toward Mia with an excitement Mia hadn't seen before. Mia, she said gently, I have something important to ask you. Mia tilted her head. What is it? I want you and your mother to come to my home tomorrow. I have a surprise, but it's only for you both. Mia's eyes widened. She had never been inside a mansion before, only seen them from across the street, far away like palaces meant for someone else. We'll come, Mia said shyly. I'll tell Mom. Eva smiled warmly. Good. Tomorrow might be a big day for all of us. Visiting the mansion. The next morning, Laura woke up early and borrowed a blouse from her coworker so she would look presentable. She kept brushing Mia's hair over and over, even though Mia insisted it was fine. Mom, we're not going to impress anyone, Mia giggled. Eva likes us already. I know, Laura sighed. But I want her to know we respect her kindness. They arrived at Eva's mansion just after noon. The iron gates opened slowly, revealing a driveway surrounded by gardens that looked like something from a fairy tale, flowers arranged in perfect harmony, fountains standing tall, birds dancing around them. Mia held her mother's hand tightly. Inside, the house was even more breathtaking. Marble floors, shimmering chandeliers, walls lined with art that looked priceless. And there, at the top of the grand staircase, stood Eva. Welcome, she said, her voice echoing lightly. I've been waiting. The secret Eva never told. Eva led them into a sunlit room. There were pictures everywhere, but none of them looked recent. A young Eva smiling at a graduation ceremony. A younger Eva holding a baby boy. Then, a picture of the little boy older, maybe 6 or 7, playing in a park. Laura paused. You have a son. Eva's eyes softened, but her voice wavered. I had a son, she whispered. His name was Daniel. Mia felt her heart tighten. What happened to him? Eva closed her eyes for a moment, steadying her breath. He passed away 8 years ago. Rare disease. The doctors tried, but I lost him. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Still. Heartbreaking. I built my business after that, Eva continued. I threw myself into work so I wouldn't feel the pain. Success came, money came, people came, but nothing filled the emptiness. She turned to Mia. And then one day, a little girl gave me her last $5. Mia felt tears rise quietly in her eyes. You reminded me of him, Eva whispered. His kindness. His courage. I hadn't felt that warmth in years, until you. Laura placed her hand on Eva's shoulder. I'm so sorry for your loss, she said softly. Eva nodded, wiping her tears gently. I want to honor his memory, and yours. The surprise. Eva took a deep breath and led them into another room. It wasn't a grand hall or a luxurious space. It was simple. Warm. Filled with books, paints, toys, a room meant for laughter and childhood dreams. I created this for you, Mia, Eva said. A place where you can study, paint, read, play, anything you want. Mia blinked. For me. Yes, Eva smiled. This room will always be yours. And there's more. She handed Laura an envelope. Inside was something that made Laura gasp out loud. A job contract. A full-time position as Eva's personal assistant, stable income, health insurance, flexible hours so she could be with Mia. I want to help you build a life you don't have to struggle through, Eva said. You don't owe me anything. Consider this a thank you. Laura burst into tears. Not from sadness. Not from relief alone. But from the overwhelming feeling that someone finally saw her, finally believed in her, finally cared enough to lift her out of the shadows. She hugged Eva tightly. Thank you for giving us a chance. New beginnings, new fears. Life improved quickly, too quickly. New school, new job, new environment. But with every good thing came the fear of losing it. Laura worried she wasn't good enough. Mia worried she didn't fit in. Eva worried about becoming attached, and losing again. Mia often found Eva sitting alone in the garden, staring at the sky the way lonely people do when they miss someone deeply. One evening, Mia walked up to her. Eva, am I making you sad? Eva blinked, surprised. Why would you think that? Because sometimes, you look like someone missing home. Eva swallowed, her voice trembling. I'm not sad because of you, Mia. I'm healing because of you. Mia sat beside her. Then I'll stay, she whispered. So you never feel alone again. Eva smiled through her tears, pulling Mia gently into her arms. You already did that, she whispered. The day you handed me that $5 bill. The chapter's ending, and a promise. That night, they stood together outside the mansion, the millionaire, the single mother, and the little girl who started it all. 3 people from different worlds, bound now by one small act of kindness that changed the course of their lives. Eva knelt down and held Mia's hands. I don't know what the future holds, she said, but I promise you this, I will always be here for you, just as you were there for me. Mia nodded, her eyes shining. Then we'll face everything together. And as the night breeze rustled the garden leaves, the 3 of them felt something none of them had felt in years. Hope that didn't fade. Family that didn't break. And love that didn't need blood to be real.